Domestic violence is a crime that is veiled in secrecy.
Coming up next on KGMB 9 News, a convicted abuser opens up and shares his story.
If I was triggered, I started hitting her. I called up the police when I got home.
What made him stop and why he insists he'll never do it again.
Each week in Oahu, about 60 people are arrested for domestic violence.
It's a lot, but those are just the reported cases. We are partnering with the Honolulu Advertiser to bring you an in-depth series called Cross the Line: Abuse in Hawaii Homes. In today's paper, you read about a lack of places for victims to stay. Tonight, a rare and candid conversation with a domestic violence abuser, a man convicted of battering his wife. Sean Huddy is sharing his story for two reasons. He believes going public will help his own healing, and he wants to educate others.
One time, I guess we were drinking heavily throughout the day, and I blacked out. I blacked out, and I woke up, and she was in the bathroom rubbing her face, and her eyes was black, black and blue. And I asked her, "Oh, what happened to you?" And she told me that I did that to her.
That's the first time Sean hit his wife. It wasn't the last.
If I was triggered, I started hitting her.
The abuse exploded one night in 2005. He and his wife were separated, and he found out she was seeing someone else.
I just grabbed her by the neck and lost it.
Sean was arrested and convicted of abuse and kidnapping. He was sentenced to 3 months in prison, 5 years probation. It was a wake-up call.
And I never ever thought I'd end up in incarceration. Like I said, I built my life and I just lost everything in one night. Truly regret it.
Sean says he was abused as a kid, beaten by his father. Experts say 95% of batterers were abused as children.
If I was beaten up a lot as a kid, then you kind of think that's normal, growing up.
In his early teens, he started acting out. Sean was expelled from Ilima Intermediate School for fighting. At 23, he got married. That's when he says the abuse started.
I thought that it was the man's role to basically take control of everything in the household,
As part of his probation, Sean went to drug rehab and took anger management classes. I asked him what he's learned.
I learned not to lay my hands on top of another, individual anymore, and just take the time to process what's going to happen if I do.
He believes drugs and alcohol played a big role in his abuse. Sober now 3 years, Sean says he can now see how very wrong he was. And to those out there still abusing their loved ones,
most of the time, when people is not out there to get help, they're in denial. So you can't help people like that. If they're willing to get some kind of help, all I got to say to them is just keep trying and don't give up.
Interesting piece, Stacey, and it strikes me that you don't hear from the abusers often or ever.
No, you really don't, because they really don't want to come forward unless they're in the counseling process or they've been convicted and they're on probation. It's very hard. It's a very secret thing, and they're very ashamed of what they've done, many of them. And I do want to thank him for coming forward. 2 others that were going to go on camera canceled because of that reason. So that was really brave of him to do that. I thought it was very important for us to know why and what he's learned. I thought that was good.
And people appreciate it. Exactly. So what's up for part 3 tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'm going to focus on bystanders, what you should do if you see abuse or suspect it is happening. And in tomorrow's Advertiser, the cultural barriers victims in Hawaii face.
All right. Guys, up next now with